Typhoon Tembin heading to Vietnam after hitting the Philippines. At least 180 people are reported to have been killed as a tropical storm swept through the southern Philippines, with dozens more missing. Storm Tembin brought flash flooding and mudslides to parts of Mindanao Island. Two towns badly hit were Tubod and Piagapo, where a number of homes were buried by boulders. Tembin, with winds of up to 80 km per hour, has passed across Mindanao and reached the resort islands of Palawan, and will now move further west. The Philippines suffers regularly from deadly tropical storms, although Mindanao is not often hit. Tembin, known as Vinta in the Philippines, started lashing Mindanao on Friday, with a state of emergency declared in some areas including the Lanao del Norte and Lanao del Sur regions. Regional officials quoted by the Rappler website said there were 127 fatalities in Lanao del Norte, up to 50 in the Zamboanga Peninsula and at least 18 in Lanao del Sur. Tubod police officer Jerry Parami told the AFP news agency that there had been at least 19 deaths in the town, which is in Lanao del Norte. The remote village of Dalama was wiped out by flash floods. The river rose and most of the homes were swept away. The village is no longer there, he said. He said volunteers were digging through mud to try to recover bodies in the village. "We've sent rescuers but they're making little progress," Sari Potapakam said. More deaths were reported in the towns of Sabuco and Salug. Power cuts and the loss of communication lines have hampered rescue efforts. Andrew Morris, from the UN Children's Agency UNICEF in Mindanao, said in some areas there were big risks for disease, particularly for children, and restoring clean water supplies would be a priority. Lanao del Sur province is the poorest in the Philippines, and in the past 7 months there have been around 350,000 people displaced in that province because of fighting, he told the BBC, referring to battles between government forces and Islamist militants in Marawi. So the priority yesterday and this morning has really been to check their situation. A week ago, Tropical Storm Kai-Tak hit the central Philippines, killing dozens. The region is still recovering from Typhoon Haiyan, which killed more than 5,000 people and affected millions in 2013. Typhoon Tembin made a second landfall on Balabac Island in the Palawan archipelago and is forecast to travel west, south of the Spratly Islands, reaching southern Vietnam in about 3 days. Tembin will threaten more lives and property as it targets southern Vietnam around Christmas Day. It will continue to strengthen later this weekend as it leaves the Philippines and churns over the Southeast Asia Sea. The seas will become extremely dangerous, forcing shipping interests to consider altering or delaying their routes. The strengthening trend is expected to end on Monday as Tembin encounters cooler waters offshore of southern Vietnam. Despite weakening, Tembin may still target a part of southern Vietnam with flooding rain, local damaging winds and coastal flooding, AccuWeather meteorologist Tony Zartman said. Residents will be bracing for these dangers instead of celebrating Christmas. Conditions are expected to deteriorate across southern Vietnam on Monday and Monday night as heavy rain spreads onshore. In addition to flooding, mudslides may get triggered in the higher terrain. The areas in the vicinity of where Tembin moves onshore will be at risk for some tree damage and power outages. Storm surge flooding may also occur near and north of where Tembin makes landfall. Flooding downpours can also spread up the central coast of Vietnam and into parts of Cambodia and southern Laos by Tuesday. Land interaction will cause Tembin to weaken further at this time. Many places have been planning for the evacuation.
Click subscribe button below to keep updated with global breaking news.